My honest, genuinely 100% honest answer is no, absolutely not. Good morning, guys. I hope you're all having a great day, staying safe, cooking lots of food, trying out new and different recipes, or just enjoying my videos like you guys always do. So for today's video, I want to talk a little bit about photography. Specifically, whether or not you should go to school for photography. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this subject because of everything being online. Whoa, it's like a fly or something in here. I gotta kill that later. Specifically with everything being online right now, and whether or not it's still worth it to go to school, or if it was worth it in the first place to go to school. So we're gonna talk about that right now. So a little bit of background on my photography experience. For the last 2.5, 3 years, I've been a freelance photojournalist in the city of Toronto, pretty much working with every single newspaper and media at this point in my career. So I definitely do have a lot of experience, and I wanted to sort of highlight the pros and cons of going to school, the benefits of actually being in a program, and whether or not you for yourself should decide what you want to do. The way that most people get into photography is a similar story to myself. I picked up a camera at a time in my life where I wanted to distract myself, and so photography was a great hobby. I was able to go after work, take photos, go on the weekend, take photos, during my lunch break, open a book, be in the photography section, and study photography. I decided to create an online portfolio for myself and apply to only one single program in the city of Toronto. 2016, I decided to apply to the photography program at Seneca College. At the time it was called IDP, Independent Digital Photography. I don't know what it's called now, but it only accepted 20 students, and at the time I decided if I got in, I would quit my job and go full-time into this program. If I didn't, then I'll just keep working and make money, gotta keep working. So that's my story of how I went to school. Now we should talk about whether or not it's worth it to go to school for photography, especially right now with everything being online. Is it worth paying that money to go to school? So if I'm being perfectly honest about whether or not it's worth it to go to school, my honest, genuinely 100% honest answer is no, absolutely not. You do not need to go to school to become a successful photographer. There's a lot of people, almost too many people that I've met in the industry who didn't go to school and are very successful. They live normal lives, they pay all the bills, and in some ways I've learned a lot more from them than from being in a program. That being said, if you're young, if you don't really know what you want to do, if you have any doubts about learning things on your own, I would definitely recommend going to school, finding a program, finding something that fits your needs, and giving yourself the time and space to focus on that, not just work and do this on the side. Because if you really want to do this as a full-time profession, you gotta have 110% of your energy and focus into your craft. Now let's talk about the benefits of going to school, because there definitely are benefits of going to school and being in a photography program. I myself found a lot of benefit in going to school. The main thing that I liked about my program that I was in was that it was obviously in person, that you got to meet other people with similar interests as you, and being in an environment where people have similar interests, similar goals, you're going to have connections. So that's one of the benefits of going to school, is making connections. Another part of that is definitely having mentors, professors, people that you can sort of look up to within the realm of photography. For me, the biggest thing was learning about my professors, how they've been doing this for 25, 30 years plus, showing that this is definitely a career. This is definitely something you can make money in if you work hard enough. Not only that, but usually the professors that teach these programs want to help you as a student. They want to give you advice on your work. They want to give you good critiques. They want to give you opportunities to succeed in your future. And they want to give you advice that will really help you down the road. Another thing to keep in mind is that not all photography programs are created equal. Some of them are not as good as the others, and some of them cost a lot of money. It really depends on where you are, wherever you are in the world, and the programs that are sort of around you that you can apply to. One of the most important parts of the photography program that I took, and something that I would definitely stress that you look for in your programs if you are looking for a program, is the business aspect of photography. Not enough programs teach the business aspect of photography. They get so focused on the technical aspect of, what we do, that they don't even teach their students how to make money, how to even charge for what you do. And then when you get into the field and you're saying like, I want to be a photographer, but I don't know how much to charge, or I have no experience doing this, you're already setting yourself up for failure. I would definitely recommend finding a program that has some kind of business aspect to it, where they teach you how to do invoices, they teach you how to charge for your business, they teach you about things like, for instance, in the province of Ontario, if you make over $30,000, you need to charge HST. You have to have a registered HST number for tax purposes. But if you make less than $30,000, you don't actually need to charge HST. It can be 0%. Okay, so one thing that we need to talk about here as well is whether or not you want to go into commercial photography or some kind of professional setting where you use studio lighting. In comparison to a lot of photography that I do, where I use the ambient lighting, so that's the available light, where I can't control anything. I'm going on location, I'm going into the field, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I don't have time to set up lights. I just use the available light to me. That's a different kind of photography. But if you do want to do commercial photography, if you want to do advertisements, if you want to get to a very, very high level of fine art photography, fashion photography, I would recommend going to school and learning properly about lighting. One of the things that's important is that they have some kind of like studio program where you actually get to go into a studio, learn about all the equipment, learn about all the names of everything you need to know. What's a grip arm? What is sandbagging? What's an apple box? How to use a light meter. Like, that's one of those things that, somebody's gonna hand you a light meter as an assistant, and if you don't know how to use that, you're not gonna get called back again. You're not gonna get called back, let me just tell you. So if you want to do commercial photography and studio lighting, I would definitely recommend going to school for that. I want to stop here and highlight what I think is literally the most important thing about photography and doing this as a career, and that's experience. Getting experience trumps everything, literally everything. Because like I said, I have friends in the industry who never went to school, completely self-taught, and they got all of their experience by just working. And this is completely possible for anybody that wants to do this. To a certain extent, I'm also partly self-taught because I watched a lot of YouTube videos, read a lot of articles, looked at a lot of photos, figured out what's the composition, what's the aperture, what's this, what's that, what kind of lighting they used. It's about going out there and just doing things and keep moving non-stop, getting yourself experience. The more that you shoot, the better you are going to be at taking photos. That's just like a simple rule. The more photos you take, the more chances you are to get a good one, So I would definitely recommend, as soon as possible, start shooting and make yourself a portfolio. Or if you're at the point where you have a portfolio and you're thinking about going to school or doing jobs, then try to find some kind of work where you can do a little bit of work and see where you're at. And then maybe decide for yourself whether or not you want to go to school. If you do go to school, maybe look for a program that has some kind of internship. So the last 4 months of your program, you do some kind of work placement where it gets your foot in the industry. You get to try out what type of photography that you want to do, and you get to see and work with professionals what it's really like in the field. That kind of experience is so invaluable. I can't tell you how important it was for me to get that kind of experience. Working 4 months at a local newspaper taught me way more than I did ever being in school. So experience trumps all. Get out there and keep shooting. So in addition to all these things that I've said up until now, if you want to learn about photography or the business side of things, there's a lot of great resources online for that. The first one that I would definitely recommend is obviously YouTube. YouTube is a great place for you to learn about things. One great video is obviously Peter McKinnon's Holy Trinity of lenses. If you don't know what those are, you should know. You should know, and I'm not going to even bother explaining about them, so I'll link that in the description below. Another great resource is FStoppers. FStoppers is an online community of photographers that basically help each other. You can ask questions, you can look for questions. You can basically find almost everything you need to know about photography on FStoppers. One great resource that I found on FStoppers early on in my career was how to charge for commercial photography. How do you put a number on your work, and what's the proper way to invoice somebody and charge them? I'll leave that in the description below in case anybody's interested in that. But there's a lot of great resources online. That's why I'm saying you really need to consider what kind of situation you're in and whether or not it's worth it to go to school right now, especially with everything being online. I'd say wait till there's in-person classes again and just shoot on your own if that's possible. The last thing that I want to mention and to talk about in this video is that it takes a long time to do this professionally. What I mean by that is that it's going to take you years till you get to a level where you're able to do this full-time professionally. And I know that's not what everybody wants to hear, but it's the truth, and I'm going to be honest. It took me 2.5 years of doing photography to be able to do that full-time freelance. It's going to take a long time. You know, nothing happens overnight. If you think that your photos are really good and you're just going to blow up and people are really going to like you and you're going to get a lot of work, that's not how this works. That's absolutely not how this works at all. You need to do good work. You need to do good work consistently. You need to find clients, meet new people, impress them. You got to do a lot of things to get to the point professionally where people start calling you back for work more and more, or you find new opportunities through those connections. So my advice to you is to work hard no matter what. Somebody once told me that if you want to do this as a career full time, don't think about the money, just work hard and the money will eventually come to you. And one more thing that I want to mention is to never give up on what you want to do. Because if you really want to do this as a profession, then you have to be more determined, more hardworking than everybody else who also wants to do it. You know, everybody has a camera these days, everybody's an artist. You have to be able to put yourself out there day after day and keep going. To a certain point where you might have to do other jobs that aren't photography in order to support your photography. I even worked at Amazon at one point. I was working a lot of different jobs in order to support what I do until I was able to do that full time. So that's my advice. Hopefully you guys find some of that useful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace! Just a quick update for anybody that's been watching my channel since the beginning. I know I've been quiet for the last 4 months, but I've been super busy. I made a video about what I've been doing for the last 4 months. You can check out my Instagram below. I also started working at a full-time job doing video. I don't have as much time to make YouTube videos anymore. I'll try my best to do one every couple of weekends whenever I have time, but I think for now, I'm just gonna make videos whenever I feel like it and put them out there for you guys. I enjoy my job, I do what I love for a living, and I get paid to do this, so I just love what I do. And you can get to that point too if you work hard enough. From the very beginning, when I quit my job working at the bank to where I am right now is literally a 5-year journey. Just to give you guys an example of how long it took, you know, 3 years of photography, 2 years of video, like literally 5 years. And here I am now saying that I'm happy. I wake up happy every single day. I'm excited to go to work. I get paid to do video, work with models, like couldn't be happier. So catch up with all of you soon. I'll see you guys in the next video.